Noah Reyes froze the moment he stepped into the massive dining hall of the Orbital Coalition Academy. The place looked bigger than any stadium on Earth. Rows of tables stretched so far that the end of the room felt like a dream. Thousands of alien cadets sat together, eating foods that glowed, steamed, floated, or hummed softly like tiny machines. Every smell, every sound, every color felt overwhelming. Noah had been at the academy for only 3 hours, and already his mind was spinning. Mia Park, the only other human in his group so far, nudged him. Come on. If we wait too long, all the normal food will be gone. They walked to the food line. Strange dishes moved by themselves. A purple soup hissed. A metallic cube thumped like a heartbeat. Noah tried not to stare too much. At the end of the line, he saw something that made him breathe again. A small station labeled Terran rations. Simple Earth food. Rice. Stew. Flatbread. A bottle of water. Safe. Familiar. He filled his tray while Mia grabbed her own. The dining hall buzzed with hundreds of languages. Noah's translator earpiece worked hard, but sometimes it just gave up and made a frustrated clicking noise. They looked for a place to sit. Every table was full. Loud. Busy. Crowded. Then Noah noticed her. At a large table meant for 8, one girl sat alone. Her skin shimmered like silver starlight. Her hair floated softly, as if touched by invisible wind. A glowing crest of the Solari Dominion was on her uniform, mark of one of the most powerful empires in the galaxy. Every cadet walking by looked at her. Some whispered. Some bowed slightly. But no one sat with her. Not a single being. Mia grabbed Noah's arm. Noah, don't look too long. That's Heir Lyra Solari, future ruler of half the galaxy. No one just sits with her. Noah didn't answer. He was staring at the bowl in front of Lyra. A dull, gray nutrient block. No taste. No warmth. No joy. She ate it slowly, like it wasn't food but a duty. Her face looked calm, but her eyes? They looked tired. Lonely. Like she had eaten alone every day of her life. Noah looked down at his tray. Warm rice. Fresh bread. A little piece of real meat. He heard his mother's voice in his head. If someone sits alone at a meal, you go sit with them. No one eats alone. Before he knew what he was doing, he stood up. Mia whispered harshly. Noah, what are you doing? But Noah was already walking. The crowded hall grew quieter. Or maybe it only felt that way. His heart thumped like a drum. He reached her table. Lyra slowly looked up, surprised. No one ever approached her. Hi, Noah said, trying to smile naturally. Is it okay if I sit here? A long moment passed. Her golden-ringed eyes studied him like he was some strange puzzle. Then she nodded. Noah sat down across from her. Hundreds of aliens whispered behind him. He tried to ignore it. Lyra ate silently, but she kept glancing at his food, especially the warm bread. Noah noticed. He cut the bread in half and gently pushed one piece toward her. Here, try this. It tastes better than that gray brick. Lyra's eyes widened. She wasn't shocked by the food. She was shocked that he offered it. I cannot accept this, she said softly. Why not? Noah asked. It's just bread. You do not understand, she whispered. Solari do not share food. It breaks protocol. It breaks hierarchy. It breaks everything. Noah shrugged. On Earth, sharing food is normal. It means you're not alone. She stared at him, really stared. Then she slowly picked up the bread and took a tiny bite. Her eyes lit up with pure wonder. This, she whispered. This has flavor. Noah smiled. That's kind of the point. She leaned closer, her voice barely audible. Human, you are different. Before Noah could answer, 2 armored Solari guards marched toward the table. Heir Lyra, return to the secure wing immediately. She stood, but her eyes stayed on Noah. Thank you for the warmth, she whispered. She left with her guards. The dining hall erupted with noise. Noah sat alone now, confused, unaware that the simple act of sharing bread had just changed the course of galactic history. The next morning, Noah entered his combat training class with a strange feeling in his stomach. He didn't know if it was nerves or the memory of Lyra's eyes when she whispered, "You are different." Word about yesterday had already spread. Everywhere he walked, alien cadets stared at him, some with curiosity, others with disapproval, and a few with open fear, like he had broken some ancient galactic law. Mia walked beside him, whispering sharply, "You understand what you did, right? You sat with royalty. You shared food. You basically caused a political storm on your first day. Noah rubbed the back of his neck. It was just bread. That's the problem, Mia said. Humans do things because they feel right. Aliens do things because rules tell them to. Before they could say more, the combat hall doors opened. Inside, dozens of species stood on training mats. Some looked like armored reptiles, some like floating crystals, some like metallic wolves. The air smelled of sweat, ozone, and burning energy. Then the instructor entered. Commander RYV Krail. Tall, green-scaled, cold yellow eyes that scanned the room like lasers. His presence alone made the hall fall silent. Today, Krail said, voice like cracking stone, you will spar with opponents from other species. You will learn what you are and what you are not. Noah swallowed hard. He was paired with Rock Thal, a stone-skinned giant with arms thicker than Noah's torso. Rock grinned, showing sharp marble teeth. This will be fun, he rumbled. Fun for who? Noah wondered. The match began. Rock moved faster than any rock creature had the right to. Noah tried to dodge, but Rock slammed a fist into the mat inches from his head. The hit shook the floor like a quake. Noah rolled, jumped up, then rolled again as Rock charged with terrifying power. Within 2 minutes, Noah was on the ground, chest heaving, sweat dripping. I yield, he gasped. Rock stepped back instantly. Respect, he said simply. Commander Krail's expression did not change, but he tapped something on his tablet. Cadet Reyes displays correct surrender protocol. Move on. Noah limped off the mat, embarrassed but alive. He reached for a water bottle, then froze. Because she was there. Lyra Solari stood at the entrance of the hall, watching him silently. 2 guards flanked her, but she didn't seem to notice them. She only watched Noah. Their eyes met. Lyra gave him a tiny, soft smile. A smile that didn't belong to a royal heir. A smile that belonged to a girl who was curious and maybe grateful. Noah returned the smile without thinking. Her guards immediately whispered into their comms. The moment was small, but it felt like a spark lighting a fuse. Later that afternoon, Noah headed to the Academy's giant library. He needed quiet. The place looked like a cathedral built by scientists. Glass walls, floating data tablets, stacks of glowing books. He sat down, opened a digital history file, and tried to read. 5 minutes later, someone sat down across from him. He looked up. It was Lyra. No guards. No crown symbol. Just a simple academy uniform and silver eyes filled with questions. May I join you? She asked gently. Noah blinked. Yeah? Of course. Lyra folded her hands on the table. I owe you an explanation. You don't owe me anything, Noah said. I do, she insisted softly. Yesterday, you broke rules that define my entire culture. Yet you acted as if it was normal. Noah shrugged, trying to smile. On Earth, if someone looks lonely, we sit with them. If someone has bad food, we share ours. Lyra tilted her head. Why? Because that's how we show care, he said. We don't like seeing people alone. Lyra looked down at her hands. In my world, eating with someone is a ritual, a ceremony, a negotiation. Sharing food without a contract is forbidden. She lifted her eyes again. But when you shared bread with me, it felt warm. A feeling I do not understand. Noah laughed awkwardly. Warm is good. Lyra wasn't smiling. She was studying him with serious, searching eyes. You humans confuse me, she said quietly. You do not follow our hierarchies. You do not fear our titles. You simply act. Is that bad? Noah asked. I do not know, she whispered. But I want to understand. She leaned closer. Would you teach me? About your people? About why you do things the way you do? Noah blinked. You want me to teach you about Earth? About humans, Lyra corrected softly. About you. Before Noah could answer, a shadow appeared behind them. Commander Krail. His voice was low and sharp. Lyra, you must not be alone with unsupervised cadets. Lyra stood slowly. I chose to be here, Commander. He is a friend. The word struck Noah like a shock. A princess. Calling him a friend. Krail's reptilian eyes narrowed. This friendship will cause storms far greater than you understand. Lyra looked back at Noah one last time. I will return tomorrow, she said softly. Please do not avoid me. She walked away with the commander following close behind. Noah sat there alone, heart racing. He didn't know it yet, but that quiet library conversation had just placed him at the center of something far bigger than friendship. Something that powerful people would not allow to grow without a fight. 3 days passed. But the academy had not stopped whispering Noah's name. Everywhere he went, alien cadets stared at him as if he had accidentally stepped into royal territory and set off an alarm across the galaxy. Some looked impressed. Some looked angry. Some looked afraid. Mia kept shaking her head. You shared bread with a princess, Noah. That's not normal here. That's like touching a son without permission. Noah tried to laugh, but even he felt the pressure. Every conversation in every corner seemed to stop when he walked past. But the strangest thing of all, Lyra kept finding him. Sometimes in the library, sometimes in the gardens, sometimes in the hallways between classes. Always with new questions. Why do humans laugh so easily? Why do humans cry in public? Why do humans give names to stars they will never reach? Noah answered everything he could. And slowly, Lyra changed. She smiled more. She asked about Earth food, Earth families, Earth jokes. Her guards started panicking because she kept escaping them to meet Noah. But not everyone was pleased. One evening, Noah and Mia were walking across the main courtyard when they heard a loud, angry voice. Where is the human who believes himself worthy of the Solari heir? A crowd had already formed. Standing at the center was a tall, elegant alien with dark red skin that shimmered like heated metal. His eyes were a sharp golden color, full of arrogance and control. He wore expensive armor, and behind him stood a group of Dravonic elite cadets. Mia whispered, horrified. That's Prince Kael Dravaris, the Dravonic Empire's warrior heir, and Lyra's arranged partner. Noah's stomach twisted. Kael spotted him immediately. You, Kael said, pointing like Noah was an insect. You are the human who sits with Lyra Solari. Noah stepped forward slowly. I'm Noah. She's just my friend. Friend. Kael laughed, loud and cruel. The sound echoed across the courtyard. Solari royalty does not have friends. Especially not from a primitive species still learning how to stand properly. The Dravonic cadets snickered. Noah clenched his jaw. You don't decide who she can talk to. Kael's eyes narrowed. You insult her title. You insult my honor. You insult the centuries-old agreement between our empires. Mia grabbed Noah's arm. Noah, don't talk. Please. But Kael was not finished. In the Dravonic code, he continued loudly, so the crowd heard every word. If one believes their bond is threatened, they may issue a trial of dominion. Noah blinked. What does that mean? Kael stepped closer, towering over him. It means I challenge you, Kael said. A combat trial. Before the entire academy. If I win, you are forbidden from ever speaking to Lyra again. And if I win? Noah asked. Kael smirked. You won't. But if you did, I would step aside. The crowd gasped. Mia whispered harshly. Don't accept. Dravonic nobles train from childhood. Their bones are like metal. Their muscles can break stone. You're a regular guy who can barely do 20 push-ups. Noah swallowed hard. He knew she was right. Every logical thought told him to walk away. But then he remembered Lyra sitting alone, staring at her gray nutrient block, looking like a statue in the middle of a crowd. He remembered her smile when she tasted bread for the first time. He remembered her questions about friendship. He remembered the way Commander Krail had warned her. And Noah couldn't stand the idea of someone deciding she wasn't allowed to have friends. Especially not someone who treated her like property. So before he could stop himself, Noah said, I accept. The courtyard exploded in noise. Mia stared at him like he had lost his mind. Kael smiled like a predator. 3 days from now, Kael said, in the grand arena. Prepare yourself, human. The galaxy will watch your fall. Kael turned and walked away with his entourage. The crowd slowly broke apart, whispering violently. Noah stood there, frozen, trying to process what he had just done. Mia finally found her voice. You absolute idiot. Before Noah could answer, a soft voice spoke behind him. Noah. He turned. Lyra stood there. Her guards looked horrified. Her eyes, usually calm and bright, were filled with fear. You should not have accepted, she said, stepping closer. Kael will hurt you. He will crush you. He may kill you. I couldn't let him talk about you like that, Noah said quietly. Lyra's voice trembled. Why? Why do you care so much? We barely know each other. Noah looked into her golden eyes. Because you looked alone, he said. And no one deserves to feel alone. Lyra's breath caught. It was the first time she had no words. She whispered, You are impossible. Noah gave a small smile. Humans usually are. Lyra turned away, but not before he saw something in her expression. Fear, hope, and something deeper she couldn't say yet. As she walked back toward her guards, Noah felt his heart sink. He had just agreed to fight someone stronger, faster, and more trained than he could ever be. He wasn't afraid of losing the fight. He was afraid of losing Lyra. 3 days passed faster than Noah wanted. The morning of the trial arrived like a storm. Every hallway buzzed with noise. Cadets from 100 species whispered about the fight. Some said Noah was brave. Some said he was stupid. Most said he wouldn't last 1 minute. Mia and Rock tried to support him, but even they couldn't hide their fear. "You can still back out," Mia begged as they walked toward the preparation room. "No one will judge you." "I would judge myself," Noah said quietly. "I don't want Lyra thinking humans run away from bullies." Rock placed one heavy stone hand on Noah's shoulder. "You have heart, tiny human. Heart is sometimes stronger than muscle. Sometimes. Not always." Noah entered the prep room. His hands shook as he wrapped them in thin academy armor tape. His stomach twisted into knots. The door opened. Commander RYV Krail entered. The entire room felt colder. Noah stood up. "Sir, if this trial breaks rules, I'm willing to." Krail raised one clawed hand, stopping him. "You accepted the trial," Krail said. "That means you must face it." But he studied Noah with those sharp reptilian eyes. "You have something Kale does not." "What?" "Instinct," Krail said. "Your species moves without waiting for orders. This can win battles or get you killed. Today, it must be controlled." It was the closest thing to encouragement the commander had ever given. But before Noah could respond, another figure appeared at the door. Lyra. She wore her academy uniform, but her expression wasn't royal or formal. It was terrified. "Noah, please," she whispered. "Withdraw from the fight." "I can't," Noah said softly. "Kale treats you like an object. I couldn't walk away from that." Lyra's golden eyes shook. "You think I need protection? I am heir to the Solari Dominion." "I know," Noah said. "You're strong. Stronger than anyone here sees. But strength isn't the same as being treated like a person." Lyra froze, because no one, ever in her life, had spoken to her like that. She stepped closer. "You will get hurt." "I know," Noah said, "but I'll stand." She looked like she wanted to say more, but the arena bell echoed through the halls. The trial was starting. The arena. The grand arena was enormous, bigger than a football stadium. Blue shields shimmered over the walls. Thousands of aliens filled the seats, watching like it was a championship match. Noah walked into the center platform. His heartbeat echoed in his ears. Then Kale entered. The Dravonic prince looked like a living weapon. Red metallic skin, muscle layered like armor plates, eyes glowing with golden heat. His ceremonial combat suit was covered in flame-shaped patterns. The crowd roared with excitement. An elder judge floated forward. "This is a trial of dominion. The fight ends when one yields or cannot continue. Death is permitted but discouraged." Noah swallowed. Kale grinned. "Ready to embarrass yourself, little human?" "Let's just get this over with," Noah whispered. "Begin." Kale moved first, fast. Faster than Noah had ever seen. A blur of red and gold. The first punch hit Noah's ribs like a hammer. He gasped. The next blow knocked him sideways. The crowd cheered. Noah scrambled up. Kale was already charging again. Noah dodged, barely. Rolled. Jumped. Tried to remember Krail's advice. Don't fight strength with strength. But Kale was relentless. Strike after strike. Every hit felt like being hit by a car. Still, Noah stood up again. And again. And again. Kale snarled, frustrated. "Why do you get up? You cannot win." Noah spat blood but smiled weakly. "Humans are stubborn." The crowd erupted with murmurs. Then, everything changed. A loud alarm blasted across the arena. The overhead drones, machines used for recording and safety, began sparking. One drone suddenly dipped and turned, weapon lights glowing red. Someone screamed from the stands. Malfunction. The drone locked onto a cluster of young cadets watching the fight. A small, fragile alien child froze in fear. Kale laughed cruelly. "This arena tests your skill, human, not your mercy." Noah didn't hear him. He saw only the child. The drone aimed, charging. Noah sprinted. "Noah!" Mia shouted from the stands. "No!" Lyra screamed from the royal box. Kale didn't move. Noah did. He leaped up the side stairs, threw himself between the child and the drone. The drone fired. A blast of burning plasma hit Noah's back. Pain exploded through him like fire. He collapsed, wrapping his arms around the child to shield them. The arena went silent. Lyra stood, eyes glowing with fury. I invoke the Solari Code of Supreme Valor. Gasps echoed everywhere. The elder judge's eyes widened. That ancient law has not been used. Today, it will be, Lyra said, voice shaking with anger. A warrior who abandons combat to save innocent life wins by moral right. Kale stared at Noah, stunned. The judge nodded slowly. In that case, the human wins. The arena erupted. Kale bowed his head, beaten not by strength, but by something deeper. Noah barely heard the noise. The world spun. His back burned. His vision blurred as medics rushed in. Lyra knelt beside him, her hands shaking. Why would you do that? She whispered, voice breaking. Why would you risk your life for someone you don't even know? Noah smiled weakly. Kid needed help. His eyes closed. And the galaxy, watching from every screen, saw the moment a single human changed everything. When Noah opened his eyes, everything felt blurry. Soft lights glowed above him. The air smelled like medicine and metal. He tried to sit up, but pain shot down his back like fire. He was in the Academy Medical Bay. Mia sat beside him, her eyes red from crying. Rockthal stood on the other side, massive arms crossed, trying to look serious, but even he looked relieved. You're awake, Mia whispered, grabbing his hand. Don't ever do that again. Ever. Noah tried to smile. Did the kid make it? Rock nodded. The little one is safe. Thanks to you, tiny human. Noah let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. Before they could say more, the door slid open. An old alien entered. He walked with a cane that glowed softly. His skin was pale gray, wrinkled like old leather, and his eyes were deep purple, calm, ancient, wise. I am Elder Saren, the alien said, voice smooth and slow. I have served on the Galactic Council for 200 years. Noah blinked. Did I break more rules? Saren chuckled gently. No. You broke expectations. Far more dangerous. He sat beside Noah's bed. Tell me, Saren said quietly. Why did you abandon the trial to save that child? Noah shrugged. They were scared. The drone was going to hit them. I just reacted. You did not know them. No. They were not human. I know. Saving them could have killed you. Noah nodded slightly. It was still the right thing to do. Saren leaned back, studying him like Noah was a rare artifact. Fascinating, he whispered. Utterly fascinating. Mia frowned. What's so fascinating about saving a kid? Saren tapped his cane. Because most species would not. That made the room go quiet. Saren continued, voice soft but firm. For thousands of years, every advanced species evolved to protect only their own. Their families. Their tribes. Their genetic lines. Logic and survival shaped them that way. He pointed gently at Noah. But you, humans, are different. Rock tilted his head. How different? Saren smiled a sad, curious smile. You bond with strangers. You defend people you met moments ago. You treat the weak as part of your family, even when they are not. Mia rolled her eyes. It's called compassion, and it is extremely rare, Saren replied. Dangerously rare. You share food without protocol. You protect without reason. You trust without guarantees. He leaned close to Noah. You humans feel before you think. You act before you calculate. This makes you unpredictable and unstoppable. Noah blinked. Is that bad? Saren shook his head slowly. It is terrifying. The room fell silent. Then the elder continued. There are groups in the galaxy who thrive on separation, on division, on strict hierarchies. Species who never mix. Civilizations kept apart. That is how power remains balanced. He looked at Noah with sharp, ancient eyes. But you humans break those walls simply by existing. Mia whispered. So people fear us because we make friends? Saren nodded. Yes, you bring people together. Without treaties. Without politics. Without force. You erase old boundaries simply by sitting down with someone. Sharing a meal. Saving a child. He paused. I saw your fight broadcast across the academy. When you shielded that child, thousands of beings felt something they have not felt in centuries. What? Noah asked. Hope. Noah's chest tightened. But before he could speak, the door opened again. Lyra entered. Her hair glowed softly in the medbay light. Her eyes, those golden-ringed eyes, looked pained and determined. Mia and Rock quietly stepped out, leaving the two alone. Lyra approached the bed. You woke up, she said in a shaky voice. I was afraid. She stopped herself. Noah smiled weakly. You okay? Lyra blinked. Me? You are the one who threw yourself at a plasma blast. Noah laughed a little, then winced. Well, it worked. They told me, Lyra whispered. They told me humans act on instinct. That you protect without thought. She leaned closer. But why did your instinct choose that child? Why choose any child not your own? Noah looked at her gently. Because they were scared. Because they needed someone. Lyra swallowed hard. Noah, no species does that. Not mine. Not any. You humans, you confuse everyone. She sat on the edge of his bed. You confuse me. Noah felt his heartbeat speed up, but Lyra wasn't finished. There is something else, she said. Something worse. What? Lyra lowered her voice. I overheard my father speaking with the Solari Council. They plan to hold a vote. A vote to remove Earth from the Galactic Coalition. Noah's eyes widened. Why? Lyra looked at him, and her answer shook him more than any drone blast ever could. Because they fear exactly what Elder Saren just said. She held Noah's hand gently. They fear the way you change people. Noah lay still in the medbay bed as Lyra's words echoed in his mind. A vote to remove Earth. For a few long seconds, he couldn't breathe. He wasn't sure if it was the pain from his back or the shock spreading through him. Lyra looked down, her hands trembling slightly. My father believes humans are destabilizing the galaxy. Too emotional. Too unpredictable. Noah tried to sit up, but winced. Lyra immediately placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. Don't move. Your back is still healing. Why now? Noah whispered. Why is Earth even being discussed? Lyra hesitated, then answered softly. Because of you. Noah froze. I didn't do anything wrong, he said quietly. Lyra shook her head. You did something no one expected. You saved a child not your own. You won a trial through compassion. You showed the Academy a form of strength they've never seen. She looked at him with conflicted eyes. For some leaders, that is hope. Her voice softened. For others, that is danger. Before Noah could speak, the medbay door opened again. Mia and Rock rushed inside looking pale. Noah, Mia whispered urgently. We found something. Something big. Lyra turned toward them. What did you discover? Mia held up a glowing tablet. Evidence. Logs. Messages. Someone hacked the arena drones. That malfunction wasn't an accident. Noah felt his chest tighten. Someone tried to use the fight to make humans look dangerous. Rock nodded, stone jaws clenched. It was sabotage. Someone wanted chaos. Lyra's eyes narrowed. The Continuum. Noah frowned. What's that? Lyra stepped closer to his bed. The Continuum is a shadow group inside the galactic political system. They operate behind the scenes. They profit from fear, separation, and strict hierarchies. They keep species apart, so no one ever becomes strong enough to challenge them. Mia added, and humans ruin their whole structure just by existing. Because we make friends, Noah said quietly. Lyra nodded. And the Continuum knows the Council will vote soon. They need humans to look dangerous before that day arrives. Rock crossed his massive arms. So they tried to create an incident. Something they could blame on humans. Noah felt anger rise inside him. Slowly, steadily. They nearly killed a kid, he said, voice shaking. Just to make a point. Lyra placed her hand over his. Noah, I am sorry. I never thought they would attack during a trial. Mia frowned. What do we do now? If they vote to expel Earth, every human at the Academy goes home. And Earth loses all contact with the galaxy. Noah looked around the room. Mia, who always tried to protect him. Rock, the giant who silently respected him. Lyra, who looked at him with something warmer every day. He couldn't let all of this vanish. We fight back, Noah said softly. Lyra's eyes widened. How? By proving the Continuum is behind the sabotage. By showing the Council the truth. By showing them humans aren't the threat. Mia nodded fiercely. We have the logs. The message trails. We just need someone the Council trusts. Rock grunted. Elder Saren. Lyra agreed. He is old, wise, and respected. If he speaks, many will listen. Just then, Elder Saren himself stepped into the room, leaning on his glowing cane. His purple eyes studied them calmly. I heard everything, he said. And you are correct. The Continuum is involved. Noah swallowed. Will you help us? Saren approached the bed slowly. I will, he said. But it will not be easy. The Council is fearful. Leaders are afraid of change. They prefer stability, even if that stability is cold. Then we show them warmth, Noah said. Saren smiled faintly. Spoken like a true human. Lyra stepped beside Saren. I will speak at the council too, she declared. I know what my father wants. But I also know what is right. Noah stared at her. Lyra, if you speak against your own father, you might lose your title. Lyra looked straight into his eyes. Then so be it. The room went silent. Mia whispered, You'd give up your crown for this. Lyra took Noah's hand, her fingers cold but gentle. No, she said. I would give up my crown for the truth. Noah felt something inside him shift, something warm, powerful, and frightening. Saren tapped his cane. Prepare yourselves. In 2 days, we take this evidence to the council. The galaxy will watch. The continuum will try to silence us. Rock cracked his stone knuckles. Let them try. Lyra turned back to Noah. You must recover, she whispered. We need you there. The council will not understand humans unless a human speaks. Noah took a slow breath. I'll be ready. Lyra gave a small, soft smile, the kind only he had ever seen. I believe you, she said. As Saren, Rock, and Mia left to prepare, Lyra lingered at the doorway for a moment. Noah, she whispered, voice trembling just slightly. You once shared a meal with me without thinking of rules or consequences. She paused. Now we will share a fight. And then she was gone, leaving Noah alone with his thoughts, his pain, and a growing determination burning brighter than any weapon in the galaxy. 2 days later, the Galactic Council spire rose above the capital world like a mountain made of silver and light. It was the one place in the galaxy where every species' fate could be changed with a single vote. Noah stood outside the entrance with hundreds of cadets, humans and aliens mixed together. Some held signs. Unity, not fear. Connection makes us stronger. Let Earth stay. Noah still felt pain in his back with every breath, but he forced himself to stand straight. He had to be here. Mia was adjusting a comm device on his collar. Try not to faint inside, she said softly. You're still healing. I'll be okay, Noah replied, even though he wasn't fully sure. Rock stepped forward, placing a massive hand on Noah's shoulder. Speak true. Speak heart. Galaxy will listen. Noah nodded. Then the doors opened. Inside, the council chamber looked like a cathedral built by stars. Floating platforms held delegates from hundreds of species. Holographic screens translated words into thousands of languages. At the center was the circular floor, where those who wished to speak stood. The room buzzed with tension. Today, the council would vote on Earth's membership. If Earth was removed, humans would be cut off forever. A large, imposing figure sat in the Solari section, Archon Valaris, Lyra's father. His eyes were cold, unreadable. Lyra sat beside him, hands folded, anxiety hidden under calm posture. Elder Saren floated to the center. Members of the council, he began. We have gathered for a decision that will shape the next 1,000 years. Before the vote, we request to present evidence and testimony. Senator Curon, a cold blue skeletal alien, rose. We have no need for emotional displays. Humans disrupt balance. Balance without compassion is not balance, Saren replied sharply. It is stagnation. Murmurs spread. Saren tapped his cane. I call Air Lyra Solari to speak. The chamber rippled in shock. The Archon turned sharply. You will not. Lyra stood. Her voice was steady, clear. I must. She stepped into the center. Every screen focused on her. My entire life, Lyra began, I followed rules. Protocols. Hierarchies. I obeyed without question. Yet I was alone. Every meal. Every moment. Noah felt his heart twist. Then a human sat beside me, she continued. He offered half of his ration with no contract, no calculation. He acted from warmth, not strategy. She turned toward Noah for a brief second, just enough to say without words thank you. Humans, Lyra said, facing the council again, are not dangerous because they are violent. They are dangerous because they care. They reach out to strangers. They break walls we built for ourselves. Whispers filled the chamber. Some of you fear this, she continued. Some believe emotional connection weakens our old systems. She raised her voice. But perhaps our old systems need to change. The room fell silent. Then Captain Arya Cole stepped forward with Mia's and Rock's data files. We have proof, she announced, that the arena drone malfunction was not an accident. It was sabotaged by members of the Continuum. She displayed logs, intercepted messages, and payment records. Gasps erupted. Senator Curon yelled. Lies. Manufactured lies. Then, unexpectedly, a new voice spoke. I confirm the evidence. Prince Kale Dravaris stepped into the light. Noah's jaw dropped. Kale bowed his head. Yes, the Continuum approached me as well. Offered wealth. Offered political favors. They wanted to use Lyra's engagement to keep her isolated from humans. He looked at Noah. But I saw what the human did. He earned a victory I could never achieve. The chamber exploded in argument. Finally, Elder Saren raised his cane, calling for order. You have seen the truth, Saren said. Now hear from the one who sparked this change. Noah froze. Saren looked at him. Speak, young human. Noah stepped onto the platform. Every breath hurt. Every eye in the galaxy watched him. He swallowed hard. I didn't come here to change anything, Noah said softly. I came here to learn. He looked around the massive chamber. On Earth, we're taught something simple. If someone is alone, you sit with them. If someone is scared, you help them. If someone is in danger, you protect them, even if you've known them for only a moment. Some delegates looked confused. Others leaned forward, listening. When I shared my meal with Lyra, Noah continued, I didn't see a princess. I saw a person who looked lonely. He touched his bandaged back. When I jumped to save that child, I didn't think about species. I saw fear. And that was enough. He breathed in shakily. If caring for others, even strangers, is a threat to the galaxy, then the galaxy needs to change. The entire chamber went silent. Lyra's eyes softened. The Archon glanced at her, not with anger, but with surprise. Saren struck his cane. The council will vote. One by one, glowing symbols lit up. Then the final result appeared in the air. Earth remains in the coalition. Vote passed with high majority. Cheers erupted outside. Inside, some delegates smiled, some frowned, but the decision was made. Lyra ran to Noah the moment the session ended. Guards tried to stop her, but she pushed past them and threw her arms around him. You did it, she whispered. You really did it. Noah hugged her back gently. We did it. Outside, cameras captured the moment. Across the galaxy, beings witnessed something rare. A human and a Solari heir standing together, not as diplomats, not as symbols, but as friends. Maybe more. Later that evening, on the steps of the spire, Noah and Lyra watched different species celebrating side by side. Rock handed out pieces of sweet stone fruit. Children from several worlds shared snacks. Even Commander Krail stood nearby, pretending he wasn't smiling. Lyra leaned against Noah. You humans, she whispered. You change everything. Noah smiled softly. Sometimes change is good. She took his hand, cold skin, warm heart. And above them, on hundreds of worlds, the galaxy slowly began to shift. Not through war, not through power, but through something far stronger. Human compassion, human connection, human instinct to care. One shared meal had started a movement, and the stars would never be the same.